Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mitch. Good Sunday morning to you all. I hope you guys are doing well out there, having a fantastic start to your day, and a great weekend out there so far. I appreciate y'all folks tuning in this morning as we try to figure out what's going to happen weather-wise for your Sunday. We got moisture that continues to move into the southern portions of the south central U.S., like South Texas, where it has been raining for you folks for quite some time. It'll continue to rain pretty heavily throughout the day today. And then we'll continue to watch, an area of energy, pretty much a pretty stout low pressure that's going to develop, will continue to develop in the western Gulf of Mexico, bring inches of rain for you folks to start your work week into the deep south. So you'll get a little bit of a break for areas of the Gulf states today, but not for long, as we have a system that's really going to put a nice dent into this drought over the next couple of days. Rain is going to kind of linger around the coastal sections of the Carolinas, and then kind of eventually move off the coast and not affect you guys, and we'll get a break throughout the next couple of days. There's another system that's going to enter the Pacific Northwest later this morning into this afternoon. It's going to bring some more gusty winds, more rain, higher elevation snow, things like that. We'll speak on everything else also. We'll give you an update on the tropics towards the end of the video and get you covered. If you folks have not subscribed, certainly consider doing that. Like the video if you like it. I just want to say thank y'all for the folks that just continue to tune in every single video, regardless of what it's doing. If it's bright blue skies over your heads out there, you got a couple drops of rain, flakes of snow. Just thank y'all for the people who continue to tune in. The views have really dropped off. The growth is pretty much stagnant at this point, and it's just been slow for a month and a half. And there hasn't really been anything big to talk about except the snows around the Great Lakes region back at the end of October. That was, pretty neat to see and a little bit unusual. Big time, cold air blast to move through most of the country. But outside of that, guys, the last 5-6 weeks, there has been nothing to talk about. There's been no severe weather, which is awesome. No late season tropical activity. Yeah, it's just been slow. So thank y'all for the people who continue to tune in and make this channel what it is. And that kind of continues to, inspire me to continue to pump out consistent content, because it is a little bit harder to do it when you're not seeing the growth and it takes the same amount of work, right? So, but thank y'all for the people who continue to tune in. It means the world. If you guys got anything that I can pray about or pray over, as always, please put it in the comments below. It gives me an opportunity to pray over it, and it gives others an opportunity to do so too. So let's get rocking this morning. We still continue to have moisture that moves into the south, the southern areas of the country. Most of this moisture right now is deep down in South Texas, but this will continue to kind of get its act together and then move kind of north and then northeast. And we, some of these areas that you're seeing, the whiter colors, just because there's more moisture in the atmosphere, it doesn't mean that it's raining, okay? But in general, a huge broad area of moisture over the deep south, the Gulf states, and the southeast. And this will continue to be a storyline throughout this coming work week. Another system is moving into the Pacific Northwest. This will bring weather. The middle of the country, pretty quiet. A couple little features to talk about. A little bit of moisture up here in the upper Midwest. But outside of that, guys, it's on the heart of the country is pretty quiet for the most part. So let's go on and get this off your screen. Talk about what's falling out there right now. Might have to get this in motion here again. But big area of moisture, kind of affecting areas of the Carolina coastline. Most of the heaviest rains just off the coastline, but there is some heavier rain falling around Myrtle Beach into the Wilmington area. And then, like I said, right in the middle, not waking up to a really rainy start. It could still be damp and cool out there, but it's not really that bad as far as rain falling. But you do got a lot of rain falling in South Texas, a little bit of moisture in the Great Lakes region, and maybe a little bit of some mixed precipitation up here in northern Minnesota and areas of northern and northeast South Dakota. Let me know what you're seeing up there, if this is falling in the form of sleet or freezing rain. I don't know if this is snow, but you are not that cold up here, so you're probably dealing with temperatures that don't really support widespread winter weather. So you can already see the moisture beginning to show up on radar in the Pacific Northwest as another system is about to move in. But outside of that, like I said, the heart of the country, it's pretty quiet. Storm Prediction Center, the only area we'll watch for actual thunderstorms is maybe down here south of Houston, Corpus Christi to Brownsville. Could have enough oomph in the air, if you will, for some thunderstorm activities, for some convective energy. So we'll watch for that, but nothing as far as severe weather. And then the same area we'll have to deal with a risk of flash flooding. And guys, when I say it's been slow, guys, I mean, we hadn't even really had any big risk of flash flooding. We haven't even had a slight risk. I don't even remember the last time we had a slight risk, which is, a level 2 out of 5 from the Storm Prediction Center. I mean, it has been quiet. It is, summertime is typically a very quiet time of the year. You just got your general risk of thunderstorms. You can get a severe thunderstorm any time of the day, but we had a lot of severe weather. And man, I would have never thought that the summertime would have been way more active than like November, because November's kind of the changing of the season. You can get some pretty dynamic weather in November, but here we are. But a slight risk. You have a 15% risk, like down here south of Corpus Christi into the Brownsville area. A slight risk for flash flood guidance being met within 25 miles in any given location. So everybody else, no big threat of any kind of flash flooding. Watches and warnings, advisories. Here's another great example of how quiet the country is. Some dense fog down here, western Texas, southeast New Mexico. Continue to get some strong winds with high wind warnings here in southeast Wyoming. Got one county that still has it in Montana, and one area that has a winter weather advisory. Everybody else is quiet. Not a whole lot going on. Southeast today will be kind of a break. This rain will kind of linger Carolina coastline throughout the morning. Then we're getting into about afternoon. By the time we get to about dinner time this Sunday evening, I think most of the rain will be kind of cleared off. You might still be dealing with some lingering light rain. Could have a pop-up downpour or two in and around the Orlando area, point south. Hopefully, this little pop-up kind of downpour right here south of Tampa Bay actually happens, because you really need the rain around the Tampa Bay area, point south. We get into this evening, and it's quiet, but as you can tell, moisture begins to bubble up here in Texas and the western Gulf of Mexico, and then this will become a bigger storyline for tomorrow as we're starting our work week, our Monday morning. But today, it's pretty quiet for the most part as far as moisture. The Northeast, pretty much the same way. It's going to be chilly today. Northeast has really been the only area of the country that's remained around average to below average temperature wise. It's been pretty chilly up in the Northeast. Could get some snow showers in Nova Scotia, New Brunswick over here. It's very possible. I know we haven't talked about you folks a lot, but I don't. If I was to speak on all of Canada too, these videos would go on for 45 minutes at least. So for you folks in Canada that continue to tune in, first off, thank y'all so much. And second off, for now, I just speak on y'all folks when y'all have a big time storm threat. So we're getting into this evening. There's not much going on. Got some energy flying through in Canada. And by the time I'm waking up tomorrow morning, this eventually can make its way into Maine, but we'll watch for this. But everybody today, there's not going to be really any moisture. Quiet, cool Sunday out there for sure. Most of the south central U.S. is quiet too, except South Texas, okay? And we're going to move this down. This is later this morning. Got a lot of moisture bubbling up. Once you get into this afternoon, this evening, just a steady, moderate to at times heavy rain down here. And this will continue to add up. And then there's that low pressure developing. And by the time we're getting into tomorrow morning, a lot of this moisture, we're going to take it all the way out to about 48 hours out. And I think most of tomorrow will be pretty quiet too. But I think as we're getting into tomorrow night into Tuesday morning, this is when the real big time moisture has a chance to really get going into this region, to Louisiana, Mississippi. But rainfall between now and the next 24 hours, guys. If you're in Brownsville, Corpus Christi, 1 to 3 inches of rain. South Texas, the deeper you get further in South Texas, the more rain you're going to see. And a few inches of rain could fall today in South Texas. So be aware of this. I'm sure you are aware because it's been raining for the last few days down here. So up here in the upper Midwest, the north central U.S., you'll have an area, that, let me know what you're seeing up here if you're viewing. I think I got one guy that views in from the North Dakota region, kind of the upper portion. Let me know what you're seeing from this thin band of moisture moving through. Could get a little bit of freezing rain with this, maybe a little sleet. But this will move into northern sections of Minnesota. And I think eventually it'll get too warm for any mixed weather. Just some chilly showers most likely in northern areas of the state. And then we start to get into this afternoon. Could get some chilly showers up here. And in the UP of Michigan. Man, I'm struggling to talk this morning. could get a little bit of rain in the UP and Michigan a little bit later this afternoon. Very possible. It's too warm for any winter weather, though. But as we get into the overnight hours, I mean, not much to speak on, guys. It really isn't. Pretty quiet day. Just a little thin area of moisture that could swing through the upper portion of that area. The western U.S., southwest quiet. The Rockies are quiet. But then we watch this system that moves in. Olympic Mountains, heavy snow again, certain elevation. Same thing with the Cascades. You guys will start to pile up the snow once again. And then by the time we get into this evening, more rain for Seattle, Portland, Eugene a little bit later tonight. But a lot of this moisture will not make it to the even the central portion of Washington, Oregon, and areas like that, maybe until tomorrow. So some moisture is possible for northern and northwest sections of California also. Kind of the copy and paste forecast that has been over the last week or so. But we'll stop it here. This is for Monday morning. We got moisture that's entering those higher elevations of Oregon and Washington. The snow is adding up in those higher elevations, but just a chilly rain for the lower elevations in the valleys. But could be some gusty conditions as this moves through later this evening. And then we get into tomorrow, and I think most of this moisture will begin to dissipate. But between now and tomorrow morning, we're going to take it to tomorrow midday or so. I don't think this one will be as high-end moisture-wise as the last few, but if you're along the coastal sections of Washington and Oregon, another half inch to 3/4 of an inch of rain, quarter inch in the valleys. Then against the range here, the mountain ranges, the Cascades, the Olympic Mountains, you guys are certainly going to get some higher elevation snow. And if you look at the snow between now and the next 30 hours or so, just got to get way up there. A few inches of snow to even a foot of snow is possible to likely. So temperatures, cool in the southeast. I think Florida will be the only area that might be just downright warm today. The middle of the country, though, in the 60s, maybe getting up to 70. But man, the Northeast is a chilly, chilly day. 30s and 40s, even just 20s for highs in these higher elevations of the interior New England region. A chilly day in the Great Lakes region, but I mean, nothing that, that you guys aren't used to. In fact, I would argue this is maybe a little bit above average still for certain areas, especially the further southwest and south you work. Certainly above average up here in the upper portions of the country. But no extremes one way or the other temperature-wise. You're starting to get back to above average temperatures for most of the western U.S., so pretty pleasant conditions out here for most of the Rockies, the Southwest, the Pacific Northwest, except that rain that will move in later today. For the most part, guys, it's warming up down here in the Southwest, the desert Southwest, the valleys of California, L.A., San Diego, San Francisco, getting back to above average temperatures. So the update on the tropics, they have upgraded this to a 50% chance to develop. This little area that we kind of mentioned one other time in the video previously does have a chance to develop into a tropical depression. We have one more name in the hurricane season list of names. It's Vince, and man, we have been trying to take that name just to complete the alphabet, just to do it. Hopefully it won't affect anybody, but we'll see if this has a chance to do it. A lot of things that have had a risk of developing down here in the Caribbean has not materialized, but the GFS has backed off. But we'll see if something gets organized. If you're viewing from, Cuba or Jamaica, I would certainly watch this. I wouldn't be overly concerned. I think the most high-end scenario out of this is you get a weak tropical storm, and I think this is going to bring some moisture regardless to you folks in Jamaica later in the work week. Some gusty winds, maybe some tropical depression kind of conditions, but we'll see what happens. We'll continue to keep tabs on that for you folks down in the Caribbean that are viewing. But, guys, that's all I got. Thank you all for tuning in, and appreciate it. Sorry for the struggles of getting through that video. I've been struggling the last week, kickstarting my videos. I really have. Sometimes I'll go through these ruts where I have to restart my video like 10 or 15 times before I can get going. And then other times I get in these periods where I can jump on here and I can start, and I don't have to start over one time. So right now, just kind of in one of those ruts where it is hard to get a flow going. And it typically does happen when it's a lot slower. It really does. I don't know why. But it's just the way it is. But when you can come on here and you consistently pump out videos, you guys know, I'm not trying to make y'all feel bad for me or anything like that. Just kind of explaining myself. It is difficult to keep up the same amount of energy every single video. So thank y'all for understanding. Plus my throat likes to mess up every time in the morning. And I think it's just because it knows I'm about to talk for about 15 to 30 minutes straight. So, but anyways, guys, I'm kind of rambling. You guys have an awesome Sunday. I'm not sure if I'll get a video out this evening. I've been doing videos every Sunday evening, but it's difficult to do videos on Sunday evenings. I don't even know why I do that. My girls go to kids choir at church, and I might shift the normal Sunday evening videos to Monday evenings. So we'll see what happens though, guys. You guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon.